it's another important setting, the aperture. Is this just about the light? Not at all. Alright, what does it do? Just a few sips and I'll be done for today. I'm supposed to drink like 3 of these every day. I need to, sport, like bodybuilding. Alright, I'm gonna turn the fan off. So let's start. What's up guys, Denverlani here and welcome back to a new video. If you're new to this channel, there's one thing you need to know. I make videos with and about the Canon 90D, the Canon EOS R, the Canon R6 and the Canon M50. Right now I'm filming with the Canon 90D, but this video is useful to anyone for any camera because it's a camera basics for video. A few videos ago I talked about the shutter speed, but this time it's another important setting, the aperture. Alright, what does it do? The aperture controls the aperture blades of the lens. When we close it, we reduce the amount of light passing through the lens and hit the sensor. When we open it, we increase the amount of light and we get more light in the shot, in the video in this case. So, it's measured in f-stops, so the letter F followed by a number. The higher the number, the more the aperture will be narrow. The lower the number, the more it would be wide open, and more light would pass through the lens and hit the sensor and give us more light in the footage. If we shoot in low light, it's very important for us to use a fast lens. What's a fast lens? A fast lens is a lens with the maximum aperture of at least f2 or f1.8, better if f1.4 or even f1.2, because of course, as I said, the more we can open its aperture blades, the more light we can get. So in low light conditions, it's ideal to have one of those fast lenses. So, is this just about the light? Not at all, because there is another thing that we can control through the aperture, and it's the depth of field. To make you understand very easily, it's as simple as that. The aperture determines the thickness, the space in focus behind and in front of the subject. So, with a narrow aperture, like let's say f10, f16, f22, when we focus on a subject, there will be a consistent space in focus behind the subject and in front of it. So everything would be pretty much in focus. When we open it, let's say f2.8, f2, f1.8 and so on, we reduce that thickness, that space in focus behind and in front of the subject. And that's how we can get the shallow depth of field. When we focus on the subject with a wide aperture and everything behind and in front of it would be like blurred. That's what most people call like a cinematic effect, but that's a different story. I already talked a lot about this. Shallow depth of field doesn't equal to cinematic. I also made quite a few videos about cinematic settings for Canon 90D, Canon R6, Canon EOS R and M50, so check them out when you get a chance. And by the way, check the links in the description to see all my gear stuff and things, my gear. And if you want 1 month of awesome music and great sound effects, for free. Check the link to Epidemic Sound. Remember, click there, you can get 1 month for free. So, in brief, the aperture controls the amount of light passing through the lens and hitting the sensor. And the wider we can go, the more light we can get. So it's ideal, as I already mentioned, to have a fast lens if we shoot in low light conditions. It also controls the depth of field. Again, you're gonna need a fast lens with a wide aperture if you want a buttery, creamy, awesome shallow depth of field. And one tip, if you want that shallow depth of field, also when you shoot in bright lights, like outdoors for example, and the sun is shining, if you close the aperture, you lose the shallow depth of field. You're not gonna get it. So what should you do? You should use ND filters. They're like sunglasses for your lens. I also made many videos about ND filters, so check them out when you get a chance. ND filters limit the amount of light passing through the lens, and that allows us to keep a wide aperture and get a shallow depth of field if we so desire. So I guess that's it for today, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button and subscribe if you ain't already, and there will be another camera basics for video sometime soon. Just wait for it, cause
I'll be back.